If you're watching this video, chances are you're considering a new car and Tesla has caught your eye. Tesla's approach is quite unique compared to traditional automakers, which can make it tricky to figure out what features come standard, which upgrades are worth it, how the buying process works, insurance costs, the best timing to buy, and more. Today, I'll do my best to answer all the questions you may have as a new Tesla buyer in 2024 and 2025 based on my personal experience over the last few years. So let's get into it, and a special thanks to Alti for sponsoring this video. Let's start by tackling a fundamental question about how Tesla's buying process works. Tesla operates with a direct-to-consumer model, so instead of visiting a dealership, you place your order online and get in line for production and delivery. Even if you visit a Tesla store, they'll simply guide you through the online ordering process. However, depending on the time of year, Tesla's website might prompt you to browse available inventory. So what's the difference between ordering a custom Tesla and choosing one from inventory? A custom order Tesla is fully tailored to your specifications and built to order. For instance, if you're in the US and looking at the Model Y, you can select your drivetrain, rear-wheel drive long range all-wheel drive, or performance, choose your paint color, wheels, decide on a tow hitch, pick your interior color, opt for 5 or 7 seats depending on the trim, add an autopilot upgrade, more on that soon, and select charging equipment if needed. Once you've customized, Tesla provides an estimated delivery date, placing your car in the production queue. Right now, for example, they're estimating a November to December delivery for all trims of the Model Y, but sometimes that wait can be longer depending on demand. For example, I expect that come 2025, when Tesla is expected to refresh the Model Y, we may see delivery times slip back some. Right now, most of their cars are fairly available, and the latest one to cross over into being readily available is the Cybertruck. With a custom order, you get the exact configuration you want, though it may involve a wait. Right now, though, that wait is likely a couple of days. Occasionally, Tesla will notify you if there's an inventory vehicle that is close to your spec, allowing for faster delivery without too much compromise, or you can wait for exactly what you want. When you explore Tesla's inventory page, you'll find vehicles ready for near immediate delivery. The inventory page shows available cars, where they're located, and if they're demo models with mileage or price reductions. Here you pick from what's available on the lot, similar to a dealership. So if your ideal configuration is in inventory, go for it. It's identical to custom ordering and may even come with a discount. This is worth looking into as well because sometimes there are great deals, especially at the end of a quarter. Tesla needs to sell their cars in order to realize their revenue, which makes them a bit different from traditional automakers who have independent dealerships. So they will do a lot at the end of a quarter to move inventory. You may find that changing one small option from what you want could save you a few $1,000s in the process. And then right now, you'll also have the option for 0% APR financing if you qualify. The other thing to mention right here is Tesla's referral program. If you track down someone's referral link, you will get anywhere from $500 to $1,000 off of your Tesla purchase, but you have to click this link and apply it to your order before you make it. So definitely track one of those down from any Tesla friend that you have, or find someone online with a referral link, and you'll save that extra money. As of right now, this applies for any Tesla vehicle, including the Cybertruck, and it will work on inventory vehicles or custom orders. Now, one of the big decisions when finalizing your Tesla order is choosing which self-driving option to go with. So what exactly comes with the car here? You've probably heard a lot about Tesla and self-driving over the years. Maybe you want all of that, or maybe you wonder if you have to pay for it. So let's clear that all up. In the US, Tesla currently offers 2 levels of self-driving features: basic autopilot and then full self-driving supervised. First, every Tesla sold today, even the least expensive model, includes basic autopilot. This system leverages the car's cameras and FSD computer to provide a suite of autopilot safety features like automatic emergency braking, forward collision warning, side collision warning, obstacle-aware acceleration, blind spot monitoring, lane departure avoidance, and emergency lane departure avoidance. Additionally, it includes traffic-aware cruise control and auto steer. Traffic-aware cruise control adjusts your speed to match the flow of traffic, braking and accelerating as needed. Auto steer, on the other hand, keeps you centered within your lane on well-marked roads, even up to 85 miles per hour on freeways. In practice, this means you can engage autopilot once you're in your lane on the freeway, letting it manage steering and speed while you stay alert and ready to assist. All of those features come standard with every single Tesla, and for most drivers, they provide more than enough assistance. Personally, I find basic autopilot incredibly useful, especially for long road trips or extended highway drives. It's not flawless, and there are situations where it's better to drive manually, but overall it's a solid experience and will cover average drivers far more than they may expect. For those wanting more though, Tesla's full self-driving FSD supervised capability is an $8,000 upgrade, adding features like navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, auto park, summon, smart summon, auto steer on city streets, and traffic light and stop sign control. Many of these functions are still in beta, and certain features like smart summon have only recently shipped. A key highlight though is Tesla's FSD beta, which they now call FSD supervised. This has improved significantly with the recent version 12. While it's still not perfect and requires monitoring, FSD can handle most driving scenarios. I've even used it on long drives throughout LA, managing everything from start to finish, making all of those turns, making all those lefts across traffic and everything. I found it to be very impressive. Again, it's not perfect, but there are times where I'm truly blown away by what it can do entirely for me, while I'm just basically sitting and watching it do it. Tesla continuously enhances FSD, and this upgrade ensures that you receive all future updates indefinitely. According to Tesla as well, it should allow you to make your car into a robotaxi in the future, but it's always important to buy a product for the features it delivers today and not the promise, especially when it's something like that. So take that prediction with a grain of salt and look at what FSD delivers today. Tesla's ultimate aim, though, is for this system to become fully autonomous, eventually eliminating the need for driver supervision. But for now, active monitoring is required, with interior eye tracking for safety. In my opinion, basic autopilot is sufficient for most drivers, but FSD is improving and may attract more interest than before. The nice thing is that if you change your mind, upgrading is as easy as a software purchase through the Tesla app with activation in minutes. You can also subscribe to FSD monthly for $99, so you have the flexibility to try it out or subscribe as needed. If prices were to remain consistent, the $8,000 outright purchase makes more financial sense after about 80 months or 6.6 years of subscribing. However, Tesla's prices tend to fluctuate, so it's worth considering your approach here, especially since they have 0% APR available right now. And if you believe in their full self-driving achievements coming down the pipeline, this $8,000 price may be cheap for now and get more expensive in time. Now, one thing to pay attention to with Tesla if you want to get the best deal is timing and depreciation. All cars depreciate, but lately, due to things like the EV tax credit, higher availability of Teslas dropping new car prices, and people or companies like Hertz selling lots of inventory, Tesla used prices have been dropping. If you want to ensure that you get the best Tesla deal on a new car, there is a pattern to pay attention to. For one, a brand new Tesla vehicle or refresh is typically most expensive at launch, or just after launch as their demand for it grows. This happened in a major way with the Cybertruck, and the Cybertruck is a really clear example of this pattern. That truck saw limited availability at launch. Tesla was only selling the Foundation series with a $20,000 upcharge, the used market was surging, and then almost a year later, I decided to purchase one. I took delivery and incorrectly assumed it would be a while before I could get a normally priced truck. Right after that, Tesla introduced the normal truck, it became readily available, and then they added it to the referral program, getting you $1,000 off with a referral link. I immediately learned the hard way that waiting just a bit longer would have paid off. Now we're even seeing Cybertrucks showing up in inventory. I mention this because I somewhat expect the same pattern to repeat in a much smaller way for the Model Y refresh come 2025. The tax credit may change around soon, demand may soar for the Model Y, Tesla may be backed up on production, ramping a newly refreshed popular car, and as such, prices may go up. However, they will almost certainly come back down. And funny enough, prices will be cheaper on the later VIN vehicles, which will likely fix any early build issues. Then Tesla will offer end-of-quarter incentives, as I mentioned earlier. So if you always want to ensure that you get the best Tesla deal possible and you're patient, you'll want to wait until they have inventory, and they are approaching the end of a quarter, and really want to or need to make sales. Now, one of the biggest concerns for potential EV buyers is range. Nobody wants range anxiety or the risk of running out of charge unexpectedly. Running out of gas or getting close to it is one thing, since a gas station is usually close by and a quick refill. But running out of charge, especially if you've never owned an EV, is particularly scary. So how accurate is Tesla's range prediction? Can the Model Y really drive 337 miles on a single charge? The short answer is not exactly, though it has improved a lot lately. The EPA estimates that a Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive has a 337-mile range. While this sounds impressive, real-world conditions often affect this, but EPA ratings of late have been coming in far more accurate for Tesla in particular. For example, multiple trims of the new Model 3 have performed better in the real world than their EPA estimates, and this is new for Tesla. In the past, it was usually lower in the real world. A range estimate is actually a tough thing to deliver, since there are so many factors involved. The faster you drive, the more you use the AC, the more wind you're driving against, and everything in between can lead to worse efficiency. On the other hand, certain things can improve efficiency beyond estimates. That's why we often see people conducting 70-mile-per-hour real-world range tests. This is an average speed most may expect to be driving their cars for a long distance on the freeway, so when driven that way, how do these cars perform? Inside EVs often conducts these tests with various EVs, and back in 2020, they found that a Model Y with an EPA estimate of 316 miles at the time managed 276 miles in their tests. There, it underperformed, but for the new Model 3, out-of-spec reviews found they were able to travel 370 miles in a vehicle rated by the EPA for a 341-mile range. That's an incredible result and shows that these estimates are actually becoming pretty reliable. If you consistently need to drive over 300 miles and don't want to charge though, I still wouldn't expect that to always be achieved, but it's a great improvement to see nonetheless. If you need to drive near the EPA range in a day, plan on a supercharger stop. Again, if range is a priority for you, consider how wheel upgrades can impact that range. For example, the base Model Y now boasts a 337-mile range, but upgrading to the induction wheels, a $2,000 option, reduces the range to 305 miles, a 32-mile difference according to the EPA, which will also translate to real-world differences. For the long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3, upgrading the wheels drops the range from 363 miles to 322 miles, a 41-mile decrease. For some, the aesthetic upgrade is worth the trade-off, while others may find the base wheels more appealing, especially since Tesla has now switched the Model Y's standard wheels from silver to black for a fresh look. When it comes to range, it's important to think about what you truly need every day. Next up today, creating a compelling online presence is one of the most crucial elements of running a business in the modern age. Managing your own user interface and handling the back-end systems can be difficult for even the most seasoned developers, and that's where today's sponsor, Alti, comes in. Alti is a digital transformation company with over 14 years of experience in innovating online businesses. Their team of advisors, designers, and engineers will work tirelessly to bring your business to the next level. They have clients from the newest startups all the way up to global corporations in the financial, tech, retail, and tourism industries. Partnering with Visa, MasterCard, and delivering innovative products together and on its own for CBH, Raiffeisen, Rentberry, and GT Bank makes Alti a leader in digital innovation. They're also more than just an IT company. Their award-winning approach has earned them recognition from the Red Dot Design Award and IF Design Awards. Their expertise in UI/UX design, front and back-end development, mobile development, and more have earned them the trust of millions worldwide to create products that people love, ensuring that every business interaction is both a memorable and successful one. So if you're looking to step up your online business by looking for a partner in digital innovation, you should check out Alti for smarter and faster growth. Scan this QR code on screen or follow the link in the description below to find out more. Tesla's battery chemistry is optimized for daily charging to 80%, and Tesla will even recommend this in the car if you try to charge above it. They really only want you to use 100% of the battery when you need to. This means that, for example, the long-range Model Y's 337-mile range translates to about 270 miles of usable range each day. With real-world variables, it might be less, so if you often drive more than this, supercharger stops will likely become part of your routine. On the other hand, consider whether you actually need the highest range. Right now, Tesla actually only sells long-range cars, so this will only apply for those looking at standard-range used Teslas, or if Tesla reintroduces smaller battery pack options in the US in the future. In any case, for the Model 3, the long-range rear-wheel drive version has a 363-mile range, but the base model they sold for the last few years offered 272 miles. Interestingly, the base Model 3 at that time used a different battery chemistry, which can be charged to 100% daily, giving you the full 272-mile range without any range reduction day-to-day for battery preservation. If you can charge at home, this range will likely cover most of your daily needs without the need for that larger battery pack, which has been my personal experience with standard range Teslas in the past. When it comes to charging your Tesla, if you're planning to install one at home, you might be wondering how much does it actually cost to charge? The answer here usually is that it's a lot less than gas, but it's a little more complex. There are several factors to consider, so let's break it all down. For home charging, the cost depends on your local utility rates. Many electric companies offer EV-specific plans that provide lower rates during off-peak hours. For example, in California, one of the most expensive states for electricity, my time of use plan charges 23 cents per kilowatt hour during my off-peak winter hours. A Tesla Model Y has a usable battery capacity of around 75 kilowatt hours, so a full 0 to 100% charge would cost me about $17.25. This translates to about 300 miles in the real world. In most other states with cheaper electricity rates, charging costs are significantly lower. In many cases, Tesla owners could drive 300 miles for less than $10, making home charging one of the biggest savings areas compared to traditional gas-powered vehicles. So for context, let's compare this to a gas-powered vehicle. The Lexus RX, for instance, averages 23 miles per gallon according to the EPA. Driving 330 miles, compared to the EPA range of a Model Y, would require 14.34 gallons of gas. At current gas prices in my area, around $5.40 per gallon, that would cost about $77.47. So home charging is about $17.25, and gasoline is $77.47. Those savings are significant, and right there, that could be enough to convince you to get an electric car. But this does assume that you have home charging. So what about Tesla's superchargers? Supercharger rates vary depending on location and time of use, similar to gasoline prices. Near me, rates range from 28 cents per kilowatt hour during off-peak hours to 49 cents per kilowatt hour during peak hours. For a full charge, this works out to $21 to $36.75, which is still far less than $77.47 for gas, but noticeably more expensive than home charging. Nationwide, supercharger rates typically fall between 25 and 50 cents per kilowatt hour, so this range is consistent for most areas. While supercharging is definitely more expensive, it's designed for road trips and occasional use, not daily charging. Most Tesla owners rely on a mix of home charging for daily use and superchargers for long-distance travel. Another cost to consider with Tesla ownership, though, is insurance. While EVs generally cost less to maintain than gasoline vehicles, insurance premiums can be higher. Rates vary based on factors like your age, location, driving history, and the insurer. Tesla also offers its own insurance in several states, which is often the most affordable option there, on purpose. According to Forbes, the average annual premium for a 30-year-old Tesla Model Y owner is $2,648, or about $220.66 per month. Nationwide offers some of the cheapest rates at $1,602 annually, $133.50 per month, but rates climb depending on the provider and state. Tesla's own insurance, available in 12 states, averages about $187 per month, according to Value Penguin. In most places as well, Tesla's insurance uses real-time driving data, and in Texas, it offers rates between $74 and $99 per month, depending on your safety score. As with any insurance, the only way to know your exact rate is to get a quote, but it's worth looking into. One other cost that many new Tesla buyers might not initially consider is the price of vehicle registration. Registration costs for a Tesla or any EV can vary significantly based on your state and local regulations. While the process is generally the same as for any car, electric vehicles often have unique fees and considerations to keep in mind. In many states, registration costs for EVs are higher than for gas-powered cars due to additional fees designed to offset the fact that EV drivers don't pay fuel taxes, which traditionally fund road maintenance. For example, states like Georgia, Illinois, and Michigan charge annual EV fees ranging from $100 to $200 on top of regular registration fees. In California, where Teslas are particularly popular, registration costs are based on the vehicle's value, meaning a higher-priced Tesla will have a higher fee than a less expensive gas car. Let's break it down with an example. For a Model Y, the base price is around $47,000. In California, you'd pay a registration fee of around $60, a $28 CHP fee, plus a vehicle license fee of approximately 0.65% of the car's value, about $305 for a Model Y. When combined with other small fees, the total can easily exceed $400 for the first year. Additionally, in California and several other states, there is an annual EV-specific fee, currently $100, added for subsequent years. In some states, however, EVs benefit from reduced or waived fees as incentives. For example, Washington offers lower registration costs for EVs, but also charges an EV infrastructure fee for road maintenance. To get an accurate estimate, it's best to check your state's DMV website. Tesla also provides a tool during checkout to estimate these costs based on your zip code, giving you a clearer picture of your total purchase expense. While EV registration fees may be slightly higher in some states, they're typically offset by fuel and maintenance savings over time. Just make sure to account for them when budgeting for your Tesla. Now, a common question for EV buyers is, how long does it take to charge a Tesla? The short answer is that most of the time you won't really notice it. Charging an EV isn't a direct replacement for filling up at the gas pump. It's a different approach with flexibility to charge at various levels, making it a shift in mindset for most drivers. Let's look at the main charging levels from fastest to slowest, since most Tesla owners use a combination of these rather than simply substituting charging stops for gas stops. The fastest option is level 3 or DC fast charging, available primarily through Tesla's supercharger network. Tesla advertises that a supercharger can add up to 200 miles in about 15 minutes. While this figure gives a general sense of speed, the reality varies based on a few factors like battery state and temperature. Inside EVs tested a Model 3 at Tesla's V3 supercharger, Tesla's fastest charging stations at the time, and found that in practice the Model 3 took about 4 minutes to reach 10% charge, 16 minutes for 50% charge, and 32 minutes for 80%. After 80%, charging speeds slow considerably. This is a natural characteristic of lithium-ion batteries, which take longer to charge once they reach higher levels to preserve long-term battery health. Because of this slowdown, most Tesla owners stop charging around 80% on a road trip, as that's actually plenty to get you to your next supercharger or your destination. Tesla's onboard system also calculates your stops along the route, guiding you to the next supercharger so you can focus on other things. Realistically, on a road trip, a supercharger stop means plugging in, grabbing a snack, or using the restroom, and your car will likely have the range needed to continue by the time you're ready to go. Level 2 charging is the most common option for Tesla owners, especially at home. Level 2 chargers use a 240-volt outlet and are typically installed in your garage or driveway if you have home charging access. The Tesla wall connector, for example, provides up to 44 miles of range per hour, so a full charge from 0 to 100% would take roughly 7.5 hours. However, since most people don't drain their battery completely, it's often a much quicker top-off. Most Tesla owners set their vehicle to charge overnight. Tesla's system even allows you to schedule charging to start during off-peak hours, usually around 9 p.m. or so, meaning that by the time you're ready to leave in the morning, the car is fully charged. This setup makes daily charging seamless and convenient. You simply come home, plug in, and let the car charge while you sleep. For public level 2 chargers, often found at workplaces, shopping centers, and parking garages, you're looking at similar speeds, though there may be a time limit, typically around 4 hours for these public chargers. These chargers are ideal for topping off, maybe bringing you from 40 to 80% while you're at work or running errands. So level 2 charging changes the mindset a bit. If it's public charging, you're really just topping off your battery from there. But if it's at home, even if it takes multiple hours, it doesn't matter because it's doing it while you're asleep. In my experience, I spend around 10 seconds plugging in at night, and my car is always ready to go in the morning. For me, this convenience more than makes up for the few minutes spent charging on longer road trips. The slowest option, level 1 charging, uses a standard 120-volt outlet, which every home has. Tesla's mobile connector on this standard outlet charges at about 3 miles of range per hour, meaning a full 0 to 100% charge on a Model Y could take about 110 hours. That sounds like an eternity, but it does have its uses. If you're parked somewhere for an extended period, or driving only a few miles each day, level 1 charging can keep your car topped off. In situations like staying with family or at a location with only standard outlets, this trickle charge can be helpful, even if it isn't fast. For most drivers who cover more than 40 to 50 miles in a day, a level 2 home charger is a much more practical option for daily use, while level 1 charging works as a temporary or supplementary option. Now, if you're considering a home charging setup, here's a rundown from the most affordable options to the most comprehensive. Tesla's mobile connector with a standard 120-volt outlet is the least expensive setup, and this option works if you drive only a few miles each day. While it's very slow, it requires no special installation. Then comes a NEMA 1450 plug and mobile connector. If you already have a 240-volt NEMA 1450 outlet, which is a standard for some appliances, you can use Tesla's mobile connector with a NEMA 1450 adapter. This setup delivers up to 30 miles of range per hour, or a full charge in around 11 hours, which is plenty for most drivers. If you have a dryer outlet nearby, a splitter like SplitVolts allows you to share that outlet between your dryer and Tesla, automatically prioritizing the dryer when in use. This option saves on installation costs and doesn't require an electrician, as it safely switches between your dryer and car charger. If you don't already have a 240-volt outlet, an electrician can install a dedicated NEMA 1450 plug for your EV. This is a standard plug that usually costs less to install than a hardwired option and provides plenty of range per hour for most needs. Then the most complete option is Tesla's wall connector or a similar level 2 charger from another brand. Priced around $400 to $450, these units offer the fastest home charging speeds, up to 44 miles of range per hour. They do require hard wiring by an electrician, which can vary in cost depending on your home's electrical setup. Installation costs depend on how close your electric panel is to the charging location and whether your panel has enough capacity. In some cases, a panel upgrade might be necessary, which definitely can increase costs, so that's something to keep in mind. Personally, I use Tesla's wall connector, but the NEMA 1450 setup would work just as well. While the installation may have an upfront cost, many drivers quickly see savings by charging during off-peak hours compared to traditional fuel costs. With a little planning, charging at home is incredibly convenient and typically covers all of your daily charging needs. Now, if you've browsed Tesla's website, you might have noticed some eye-catching prices, like a Model Y advertised at $299 per month. How is this possible? Well, it's because Tesla includes estimated gas savings in their price calculations, a practice that I'm not a big fan of. What they're really quoting is a $399 per month lease, minus an estimated $100 in monthly gas savings. While you might save that much, depending on your circumstances, your lease payment will still be $399. The same applies to cash and financing prices. Tesla includes both the federal tax credit and gas savings by default, which can make the prices look lower than they are. For example, they might show a $508 monthly payment to finance a Model Y, but if you remove the assumptions for gas savings and tax credits, it jumps to $712. My advice is just to ignore these adjusted figures at first. The good news is you can customize these estimations to reflect your actual situation. By clicking Customize, you can input details like your total mileage, local gas prices, the fuel efficiency of your current car, and electricity costs. This will give you a much more accurate picture. If you'll primarily rely on superchargers, look up supercharger rates in your area, as gas savings are less impactful if you're using public chargers instead of home charging. Another factor in Tesla's advertised prices is the federal tax credit. To take advantage of this, you'll need to qualify based on specific requirements. However, the good news is that Tesla now applies the credit at the point of sale, which directly lowers the amount you finance. With that said, it does look like this tax credit will be going away soon. If you are looking to finance, Tesla has been offering some APR incentives like 0% for the Model 3 and Y. Those can save you thousands throughout ownership, and then you can keep an eye out for other promotions from Tesla. In fact, they just introduced an incentive for 3 months of supercharging and FSD for free with your Tesla purchase. With that said, Tesla's financing isn't your only option. Many local credit unions will offer competitive rates, so it's worth exploring alternatives to see if you can secure a better deal before committing to Tesla's rates once they return to normal in the future. These are some of the most common questions I hear from new Tesla buyers, but there's plenty more to explore once you've taken delivery. I've also made a video covering everything you need to know after buying, along with another detailing the must-have accessories to enhance your Tesla experience. And you can check out those videos in the description below. I hope that this video was helpful for you, and in the meantime, you can check out that next steps video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.